Hello and welcome to the channel, Second Opinion Dentist 101, presented by Program Dr. DDS. Today I'm not going to talk too much about teeth, even if it is included in this principle that I'm going to discuss and use logic upon. It's called informed consent, and it is something that is very much around these days. It is not only a principle, I believe in, at least in my country, it's by law you have to, when you treat a patient, you have to have informed consent from the patient. This, I claim, does not exist. Imagine a situation where a big pharmacological company wants to implement a certain treatment or wants you to participate in an experiment. And furthermore, the doctors don't know actually what's going on. Imagine that. Imagine that the things, all the things that are in this particular experiment or in this particular drug or whatever it is at first being kept a secret for 75 years. So there's no way anybody can have all the information. And then my logical claim is, how can you have informed consent when the person informing you is not informed? Well, I guess you can, because you get information and you have conceded, you have given them your consent. Only you don't have the full information, but that's not in the description of the principle. Then you should have fully informed consent, and that is not possible. I think everybody can see that. I have touched upon this in another video where I say that either you have to lean against people that are experts with a second opinion, or you have to become an expert yourself, which is a bit difficult, of course. So the problem is that the authorities have allowed, in the beginning they allowed for certain information to become a secret for 75 years due to whatever reason. So there's no way you can have informed consent. As an expert, I know that it's very easy, if you want to actually manipulate patients. Sometimes it's done even if you don't know it, as I have also touched upon, that if you believe something strongly enough, you're not the person to give the counter arguments for whatever it is you believe in. You have to have another one, and this is of course what I always return to: get a second opinion, whatever it is, a second opinion doctor, dentist, lawyer, engineer, whatever. And so I try to make this into a second opinion world, actually, and this is why I wanted to share these things. I can only speak about my field of expertise, relative expertise, which is dentistry, but the principle goes for pretty much anything. So you go to the doctor, and the doctor wants you to have this experimental drug that is kept a secret for 75 years. And gives you information like it's not dangerous, it's safe, or even worse, that they consider if you are an anti-vaxxer, and if that might be the subject, the treatment or the experiment. So you can be manipulated, and even so can the expert, because he's not getting all the information. He may feel that he has a lot of information, otherwise he wouldn't be an expert, but he's not getting all of it. So for that logical statement, it is impossible to have informed consent. In my world, for me it came natural, because I can't see myself putting some treatment in people's mouths, and then it comes as a surprise to them, even the price. But other dentists, they don't have a problem. They say, you want this, and they inform perhaps what it is and what it constitutes, and it's not dangerous, it's not painful, it's nothing, and then you get it, and then you get the bill. The same thing, you go to the mechanic. Most of the time I go put my car to the mechanic, I ask for a kind of a forecast about what it's going to cost. An overview at least, right? A budget. They do that without any problem, but I guess a lot of people just give it in there and they expect that, well, they do what has to be done. And again, that is very trusting, and maybe you're a nice person, but you're also a fool. Because there is no one solution. And again, if you had a second opinion mechanic, he could say, well, that is not necessary. And he would be without any interest in you performing a certain treatment of your car, for instance. And we all ask, and you know, this principle has been made a law, not because that they didn't see that this doesn't make any sense, but because they want you to believe that now you're safe, of course. So the people that make this, these laws and rules and regulations and guidelines, or whatever they call them, they do so that you can feel, well, the authority says this and they take care of my side of the story. They don't. I mean, look at the FDA in many cases. Look at any other authority that constantly is being caught with their pants down, if you say. And also, this has something to do with who actually pays the money, who makes it their livelihood. And that would be the people that they are supposed to control. That is a very shaky road to walk on. So I don't believe in any way, shape or form in informed consent. First of all, can you make sure that the patient actually understood what's going on? Another example you can use is when you get your new smartphone. There's a long list of agreements you have to go through. Most of us, including me, don't really read it, because you also understand that if I don't agree with this agreement, then I can't use my phone. This agreement has been made by lawyers and all kinds of experts that sit there and carefully shape whatever is said in this agreement. And you go in there as a baker or a carpenter or whatever you are, or a dentist, and you kind of read it perhaps if you are very diligent, but do you really understand what it says? Do you really understand the implications of your signature? You see, I would not advise anybody to sign anything unless they have taken it to a lawyer. But of course, every time you get a new phone or anything else you have to agree to, you can't run off and pay hundreds of dollars for a lawyer to check this out. You can, however, perhaps pay $100, $50 or whatever, and get this thing run through a second opinion lawyer. Because this would be routine things for them. I mean, that they can read to this and maybe they even know what Apple or Huawei or whatever they're called, what they actually write in their agreements, and they can say, they can pinpoint where the problems are. And now you're getting a little bit closer to have informed consent. It is not so easy, as I say. You have to align yourself with other experts that either have no opinion or have the opposite, the opposed opinion to whatever it is, your medical experiment or whatever it is, telephone. Otherwise you really don't know. I mean, we read something and we see nothing harmful, but we don't even ask the right questions. A lawyer could ask the right questions. A dentist can ask the right questions concerning a treatment of your teeth, at least if they're not necessarily involved in this or involved in the dentist that is going to treat your teeth. So, second opinion, second opinion, second opinion. And there is no such thing as an informed consent unless you are an expert yourself on the subject. That's what I want to say. It is very important that you share this, because I want to spread this out as far as I possibly can, and I want to make this principle known to people, that first of all that they really are sheep to the slaughter in most cases if you are not an expert, and secondarily that there could be a little bit of a help there if you contact another expert with a second opinion, of course. So share it with everybody. Understand and think a little bit about when you get in contact with people where you actually have to admit that you're lost. Most people don't like to admit that because they feel like they're idiots, but the idiot is the one that doesn't think he's lost actually. So this was all for this time. I will come back with more videos, and as I said, like, share and spread this out. it seems in this day and age we really need to be much more informed, because even the authorities that we put our faith in often actually do not protect us. They are meant for us to feel protected and actually leaving us wide open. Thank you, and see you soon.